Hi, this is Sharon of River Road Knits. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to knit a box pleat. This right here is my Casagrande sweater sample, and this is the box pleat at the shoulder. You can see it's a way of folding the fabric in on itself and combining stitches seamlessly so that you get a larger panel that kind of folds neatly into a narrower panel, and in this case we're switching from this lace panel into plain stockinette. This is not a very hard technique, it's just very visual. I find it easiest to learn just by watching it, so that's why I wanted to make this video to demonstrate. Now I have my sample here. This one is done in all stockinette just for ease, but in the Casagrande sweater, between the stitch markers, as you know, you'll have a lace panel. So what I have here, per the instructions, I tell you to knit to 7 stitches before your first lace panel stitch marker. So in this case, here would be the stitch marker. This first stitch afterwards, again, only if you're doing the Casagrande sweater, the first stitch is going to be that slipped selvage stitch, and then starting from the second stitch over is going to be your lace panel. And then again at the other side, this right here, the first one before the stitch marker would be the selvage stitch, and then starting here, lace. Okay, so in this one I tell you to knit to 7 stitches before the stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I need to knit 2 more. Okay, now the instructions say to slip the next 8 stitches onto a double pointed needle, and I've got for ease I've got them color coded. This is going to be needle A. So all I'm going to do is slip these stitches, and I can take off my stitch marker, but we know that the selvage stitch, the first stitch in the lace panel, is going to be on needle A. Okay, and then you're going to slip the next 8 stitches onto another double pointed needle. This is needle B. Okay, and then we're going to have the left hand needle, that's going to be needle C. So it's going to be in the back. So what we need to do now is fold these to make the first half of the box pleat. So in the instructions, first you're going to take needle B, needle C, and you're going to fold them with the right sides together. Okay, can you see that? The right side, I'm folding it like that. Okay, now I've got needle A and needle B, and I'm going to fold it with the wrong sides together. Okay, so if we look at what the fabric's doing, it's kind of making, you can think a little abstractly here, it's kind of making a Z, right? We've got the fabric going like this, right? So now all we're going to do is slide these stitches on all the needles over to the right side so that we can work them. And then with the right hand needle, I'm going to insert the right hand needle into the first stitch on each of these needles in order. So A, then B, then C. And I'm going to knit them all together. Okay? And now I'm going to slide all 3 of them off. It helps to go slow at this because I have found myself accidentally slipping an extra needle or extra stitch off one of the needles. So I'm going to continue, knit the next one, third one. Okay, continuing along the needle, I have 5 more stitches to go. See what I mean? They kind of like jump off. Okay, last stitch. 1, 1, 1. Knit them all together. Okay. Okay. So I've just worked the last stitch of the right side of the box pleat, and I finished up all the stitches on my needles A and B. So now we're going to do the second half of the box pleat. So the instructions say to take needle A and slip the first 8 stitches. Okay, that's fine. And then we're going to take needle B and slip the next 8 stitches. And then again, our left-hand needle is going to remain needle C. Now I have, you can see I've got 1 stitch and then the stitch marker. That's exactly what we should have, because this first stitch here is our selvage stitch. I'm just going to take my stitch marker off because I know I'm in the right spot. Okay, so we're going to do basically the reverse to make a mirror image of what we did before. So in this case, we're going to take needle A and needle B and fold them so that the right sides are together. Okay? And then I'm going to take needle B and needle C and fold it so that the wrong sides are together. Okay, so again, in a mirror image of the other one, the other side, you can see how the fabric resembles an S, where the other side resembled a Z, right? Okay, and now we're just going to do exactly the same thing, slide them over to the right side. And knit into all 3 of them in order. Okay. And just continuing down the needle in the same way. As you might have guessed, this is an 8-stitch box pleat because we're slipping 8 stitches onto each of our needles each time. And that is actually decreasing 16 stitches on each side. You can do box pleats obviously with any number, you'll just get different widths. Okay, now I am down to my last one. If I don't lose any stitches, I'm going to knit all 3. Okay. And the stitches at the edges, you can see they are a little bit loose, but when you knit across the following rows, that's they won't be noticeable. Okay, so now I can continue knitting across the row just with my normal needles. And you can see what I've done here is make my box pleat. So my fabric went like this. It zigzagged in and then over. And that's where I did the right side. And then I went over, zigzag back, and then continue across the row. So that's how you make a box pleat. It's very simple. It is a really elegant little design detail, easy to do, and I hope this tutorial was helpful. Thanks.